Yeah, so I know I haven't been posting a lot for whenever I make these public. I think it's October 17th today. Uh, and this week, I've just been kind of lazy. Like, the whole Syria war thing's happening. And I'm like, I don't know. I had to get something for a friend, and then I just got lazy for 5 days, amongst other things. Graven image. I don't know, negative thoughts for myself, God, the plan, doubt of myself, doubt of God, doubt of the plan, negative about my mom, my dad, the world. What else? I don't know, I think that's pretty much it. Worried about money. Let's see. Like, when I say that, it doesn't mean I'm consistently worried about money or have any care about money right now. But there were instances where I worried about money. It's kind of like a blanket statement, generally speaking. Let's see. But anyway, so I thought it was interesting how the Syrian war has a ceasefire for 120 hours. I'm like, oh yeah, like this is the week where I've been kind of lazy or whatever. So, it's just a correlation. And I'm getting close to finishing the book. Kind of like thinking about finishing it by 16 chapters instead of something like 20, putting more media within the book. Yeah, I don't know when it's going to be done, but I'm pretty sure by Christmas it will be. I don't know. I have no idea. I would think by Christmas, though, because that would be an entire year. Wow, that's kind of an interesting ending. Like, the final chapter starts with Christmas and then it ends saying, are we going to make it an entire year without, even addressing our existential threat? So, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm liking it, and I thought it was interesting about the whole Syria thing because, I'm like, it makes me think that, how do I say this? I don't have to continue writing this book. I don't sit there and think about it, like, oh, I don't even fucking write this book. Like, that's not it. Like, I'm writing this book in my mind, whatever. But occasionally I'll be like, and something like the Syria thing kind of sparks into my mind. I'm like, man, when I stop, if I'm lazy for 5 days, like, the momentum kind of stops. So I'm like, I think about that a little bit, a few times or whatever. I'm just like, oh man, it's like at my pace, and God is adjusting or has already adjusted for my decisions as I'm having them, as I'm making them. And I just think it's incredible. When I see the Syria thing, it's just another example of that. But once the book is done, then it's no longer like, I don't have my function. Once that book is done, is just being like, I don't even have to do anything. There's what is it? Jeremiah says. I think it's Jeremiah. It's like, Jacob's arm will be tired from like threshing the olive tree or whatever, but there'll still be a few olives or berries up top. That's kind of going to be me. It's like, look, what you need to know to get, like, you can figure anything you want out from the book. It's pretty simple because really it's just going to point you to do it yourself. And me, my function once it's published is merely like, I don't know, but there's a couple berries left. That means I got some other tidbits I can give you. But really, it's just about this kind of seeing what what the world does, if it does anything. Now, me, I know I'm good to go once the book's published, and I can't imagine anyone ever publishing a book like this because of what you have to do. It's a 1,260-day requirement. You have to analyze your family, yourself, your past, your sins publicly. Record the entire journey doing it. You guys have it so much easier than I did, but I'm not boasting by any means. I'm just like, I'm kind of tired sometimes. And that's why, you know, this week where I'm just like, I'm kind of pissed off a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I still worked on the book. But, you know, compared to a week where I was a little bit more clear-headed, wink, wink, this has been a week of relaxation. And what's cool is, you know, the ceasefire for 120 hours is perfect because it kind of gives me, trust me, God exists. And this book, because he knows it's being reported truthfully and I'm recording the entire process, that he gets the attention, he gets the glory. I'm just the guy who lucked out by getting to write the book first, the first book, which really is just a continuation of all the other books that are written from the Bible, but we have phones with cameras on them now. And the first person to figure out that if you go through your life, inventory everything bad, good, your personality, you get introspective, record yourself acting the best way possible and thinking the best way possible based off your knowledge of God, that he is actively monitoring everything you're doing as you throw your entire life away as a testament to God. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Let's go your way now. And the first person to figure that out by tossing everything that they have or they held dear away because it didn't matter and it never resulted in any happiness, examining themselves and their family to understand how not only does this process work for you and give you everything you never even imagined possible, but also the same for your family as well, because they also at different times in their lives recorded their testimony. That's all wildly different, which makes it even better from a truth standpoint, because you get to see the characters in the sitcom. It's great. But it's not just the family, there's all these other people involved. But anyway, the first person to figure that out basically gets carte blanche on the world, doesn't have to deal with any sort of negative things that happen. Since January of 2017, I've been partying nonstop. I mean, you know, I'm writing a book, I made a movie, whatever, but I'm doing interesting projects, you know, without a care really in the world except the occasional money issue. Had a blast. And now I get to fucking publish a book about it that includes media. It's awesome. This is like the first person to figure this shit out wins. is all I'm doing is just saying, yep, it's all God. Because it's true. A guy like me, as you'll see at the beginning of the book, has no business fucking writing this book. But because I stumbled upon, I mean, I always knew God existed, but the king of the fucking jungle and the method of recording it, all because of this fucking awesome woman. I don't know, it works. I could talk about this for a long time, but these are all my berries. I got my berries, but the book will be out. Provide, you know, I don't know how much video footage, it's all online, maybe I'll just flip it all on or whatever. But anyway, serious thing. I don't know. I think about myself before this process sometimes and what I would need to hear to be like, nope, that's it, I'm all in. Not with this guy, but with this system to see what happens to save the fucking world. How would I receive that? It would be like, look, you know you're a badass. The reasons in your life, all the successes you've had are examples of why you're a badass. If you want to, how do I say this? You can win a series of prizes by showing the world how much of a badass you are. And it's a ranking system. The earlier you get in on this system, the higher your rank, and it's up to you. I'm just here to present a story. My suggestion as one badass to another is to take the time as a badass can to just sit and reflect on your relationship with God, what you know about God, and examine every fucking aspect of this story. Maybe it takes you, I don't know, 6 hours or something like that. Afterward, I would listen to one band, and it's the band that's scouted and developed within this story, and begin recording yourself reacting to the story. And when you've seen enough information, whether it be a minute after you have begun the process, a minute or a minute of the process, or days, weeks, but you don't have that much time, because by next July 20th, we're rolling into a new system globally. So if you want to be a badass, this would be the time. And that's it. Enjoy. And when you fucking watch this is what I'll be thinking. This is what I'm thinking. And when you fucking watch this, whatever ego you have, my recommendation is to consider parting with that ego as quickly as possible, so you can rank as highly as possible, as high as possible. So, yeah. Anyway, there's my update. I did something. I think about these things.